What is going on, guys? It's the Mad Dragon. So the other week there was a super fun game on our television screens, the Barbarians versus the World 15. It's a very exciting sort of exhibition match made up of different players from all sorts of different teams merged into one. Got a very short turnaround time in terms of their training, and they play each other, and it turns into an absolute tri-fest. There wasn't a lot of coverage across YouTube. Didn't really hear a lot of people talking about it. I didn't do any videos about it. I was actually away when this game was on, so I missed it completely and had to watch it on catch-up later on. But I thought it'd be fun to try out a different style of video. I know a lot of you guys were really upset when I decided I was not going to do quite as many review videos just due to the immense amount of time and effort that goes into doing those videos. But I thought this might be a little bit of a fun way to sort of do a review video. We're going to watch the highlights from the game because I'm sure a lot of people actually missed it. A lot of my friends didn't even know this game was on. I thought we could watch the highlights video, go through the tries. We'll do a sort of reaction meets review meets thoughts on the games and the teams all in one video. I thought this could be a really fun way to do these sorts of coverage for videos. If you enjoy this style of video, make sure to drop this video a like and drop down in the comments whether or not you'd actually want to see this for more games, because I genuinely think this might be a new direction for me to move in terms of the review videos, and especially leading up to the World Cup. I'm trying to find ways to do more content while not just absolutely burying myself under work. So if you enjoy it, make sure to let me know if you think there's a way I can improve the style of video. Drop that down in the comments as well, because it'll all be super useful. So before we actually get kicked off with the game itself, we'll quickly check out the teams that were announced for this one. So the graphic is terrible because I made it super quick just before doing this because I couldn't find a nice graphic of the team lineup anywhere. Now looking at the teams, going into it, genuinely, I thought that the World 15 team was quite a lot better, in all honesty. The forwards, maybe a bit 50-50 on who you think is better. The Barbarians team certainly has some good players. Alwyn Jones, after announcing his retirement, captains this Barbarian side. He's going in alongside Aaron Wainwright, who he played with at Wales. Nick Dolly, who I know a lot of people are wanting to see more from at an international scene. Okay, there's definitely some good forwards named in that Barbarian side. But on the World 15 side, you've got Fraser Brown playing alongside Ollie Kebble, two Scottish players playing alongside each other. Wyn Jones, still probably for me one of the higher rated props over in Wales. Harry Knockings, it says Harry Knockings, it should be Harry Hockings, who I didn't know a lot about before going into this game, but he's a bit of a unit. I'm really looking forward to see what his international scene can bring in the future. I think he's Australian but plays in Japan, so I'm not sure who he would sort of represent at international level. I'm not sure if he has done already. I haven't actually checked up on his number of caps, but he played very well in this game. And then sort of further back, Negri and Lamaro playing together in Italy. Negri is one of my top 5 players that really impressed me in the Six Nations series. Then down in the replacements, they've also got Nicolo Canone, who comes on later on as well. So a superb Italian back row in that respect. The backs, again, although there's some big players here in the back row, people like Quade Cooper and Samu Kurevri were particularly interesting because Eddie Jones was actually the coach for the Barbarians team. Of course, he's now coaching the Australian team. And whether we're going to see those lads sort of impress to try and get it back in that Australian team, because the fly half situation for Australia was a little bit struggling last year. Adam Radwan being brought back in as well, of course, with his experience with England. I thought, that'd be nice to see how those lads get on. But this back line for the World 15, I thought was awesome. Nick Phipps alongside Adam Hastings trying to get back into the Scotland jersey. With Finn Russell performing quite well at the minute. Ngani Laumape, who I remember seeing in the Super Rugby Aotearoa, playing super well. They just sort of let him go. He doesn't really sort of get a lot of New Zealand time anymore, but I thought Laumape was a really good player. Randradra, Israel Folau, whether you agree with all his beliefs and everything that kicked off a few years ago, still a top player in terms of rugby. He's being moved now into Tongan rugby. He's doing this sort of dual citizenship thing where he's actually moving away from Australia to play at Tongan international level. Sabu Nkosi, another superb player, doesn't really get a lot of game time with Cheslin Colby and Mapimpi playing so well, but I still think he's a good player. And then the replacements as well, for me, I would lean again towards the World 15. I think on a bit of a broad spread without diving too much into each player. Yes, certainly some good players there, but there were some people who did stand out in the replacement for the Barbarians this game. Harry Thacker, especially, very, very impressive. So let's jump in. This is, I think, a fan-made highlights video. There isn't really like an official highlights video. So the actual link to this video will be down in the description. You go check that video out and go through it a little bit slower if you want than we will do in this video. But if you enjoyed this one, guys, remember to leave it a like. And without further ado, let's get this game kicked off and underway. Now, I feel like a lot of people really did miss this game. A lot of my friends didn't even know it was happening. But there is the Killik Cup. Alan Jones leading them out. And there's a couple of people that we'll talk about sort of as we go on through the highlights. But there were, of course, a lot of tries scored in this game. If you've seen any of the news around this, 14 tries in the end to sort of go over in this one. So we're starting out sort of a 5-minute marker here.
From the Kobe Steelers, former All Black, of course, is Charles Piutau, who's heading to Japan.
Look at that. There goes Semi Radradra like an absolute beast. He had a superb game in this one. Did get man of the match awarded to him at the end. And even though he was eventually on that losing team, but I thought he was fantastic. There he is, Hawkins charging through and leading to the first try for Negri. Now, we saw Negri get plenty of tries in the Italian jersey, but Hawkins, certainly one of the players I'm going to be keeping an eye on in the future. Now, the Barbarians on a big driving maul. I remember this one when it was actually going on. Wasn't particularly like a fan favourite. If you're going to go for a Barbarians lineup, you want to see a 15-man driving maul. They didn't go for it, but they did go. But something that is a little bit funny going on here. It's Radwan. Radwan getting over. Not gonna lie, that might be the only driving maul try we ever get to see from Radwan in Twickenham, because it's not really what you get to see. Of course, the way these exhibition matches are done, they are slightly different. The referees aren't necessarily looking for as many penalties as they can do. Maybe if there's a pass slightly forwards, they don't always blow it. It's about showing off. It's about a bit of wild exhibition try scoring, and sometimes you chuck a winger in a maul, because why not? As if that really makes any sort of difference. But it was a nice driving maul, to be fair, and they did get over. Now, Gareth Anscombe actually did miss that kick. There's something that doesn't really shown in these highlights. Now, something that was quite interesting in this game, Gareth Anscombe had a great game. I still think there's people would probably be picking like Dan Bigger over him at starting at fly half, but Gareth Anscombe this one starting at fullback. And it's not his natural position. For me, I wouldn't really start Gareth Anscombe just directly at fullback. But his kicking game wasn't the best in this one, but his general play was actually quite fantastic. I'm looking forward to see some of the highlights from him later on.
The direction of
Charles Piutau again, another Tongan lad, so going to be playing alongside Israel Folau, potentially in the Tongan internationals. Look at that pass back inside, and Nkosi going in, the assist from Radradra, and that's why, you know, he got his man of the match. Now, Nkosi had the opportunity for quite a few tries in this game, and he did play well. He found himself in some space. But we'll potentially talk a little bit later on about things going wrong for him, as Izzy Folau smashing his way through there in the middle. And isn't this just beautiful to watch? Look at the offloading ability. Even Ollie Kebble getting in the mix there. Oh, I couldn't quite get there. And Radradra goes in for his second assist. Absolutely fantastic. Another point to talk about here as well. On the scoreboard now, 5 versus 21. That's because Adam Hastings, kicking duty, had some difficult kicks, to be fair. I think all 3 of these starting ones, they were quite far out to the left. Adam Hastings, in terms of his kicking, was very, very good at this game, especially compared to Anscombe across the game. So I'm really glad to see that he's got his kicking duties up. It's one of the things that I still don't think Finn Russell is necessarily the best at his percentage kicking. He sometimes has really good games and sometimes can miss quite a few. But nice to see that Adam Hastings is getting in there, because I think as we move towards the World Cup, you can't just rely on Finn Russell's. Having Adam Hastings there, he's going to be on good form in terms of playing as well as kicking towards posts, because they've got a tough old pool with Springboks and Ireland in their World Cup. So points from kicking will absolutely be a necessity.
Nice quick hands from Anscombe to lure to.
Let's watch the Barbarians here go on a bit of a charge. Look at this.
Here's Cooper though. Oh, he's going to chip ahead.
Look at that. Little chip over the top.
Oh, there you go. Quade Cooper.
Fantastic. So, as I mentioned sort of in the team sheets moment, talking about Quade Cooper, this is something I'm really looking forward to see if Eddie Jones can actually allow this to be part of the Australian game plan when it gets around to watching. If we just go back and have a look at this, being able to have this vision. Now, obviously, the teams in this sort of game, they're not playing, proper rugby necessarily all the time. Their teams haven't had a long time to prepare for each other. But being able to see that they're going to have a fly half, potentially in Quade Cooper, that can see things like this, the amount of space just below my face here, around the back, You know, to be able to think, well, you know what, we've got like a 4-on-2 here. Do we pass it through the hands? But actually to identify that there is no one in that fullback position and instead change your mind to do a little stabby kick over the top and allow your winger to get on it. We know the Australian wingers are pretty immense, especially people like Coriobetti could be on that wing. Now Akinita Wase. He's a speedy boy. I feel like if Eddie Jones can really get a hold of Quade Cooper, I think it could be awesome for the Australian team in the World Cup. And Izzy Folau getting in for his try. Yeah, again, Adam Hastings. It's nice to be seeing this open, expansive play, that little vision over the top. Got a bit lucky with the bounce of the ball. If you're a defender, you're a little bit annoyed how that bounced, but Israel Folau will be happy with how that came out to him. Huge crash ball there, going through the centres to get over there. He's a big unit to stop, to be fair. I think it was Adam Hastings. That was actually probably one flaw in Adam Hastings' game in this one. A lot of... he kept being the last guy on defence. There was clearly an outline to target him when you got right up on the try line, because there were a couple of instances in this game where the ball was going out wide and they just went for a one-off run. I mean, he's a hard man to stop, and Adam Hastings, unfortunately, getting the tackle, but just sort of getting rowed over in the tackle a couple of times and allowing tries will be something you'll probably want to improve in the future and actually try and stop those getting over. But it's nice to have them outlined by the Barbarians. They obviously saw that as a little bit of a weakness. Right, Radwan.
Anscombe with him, he's going to take them all on.
Oh, just superb stepping from him. And the offload.
Oh, here we go. Levy's, oh, there we go.
Oh, and I really thought Alan Wynne was going to be able to get a try in this game. I don't think he did, actually, by the end of the game. But what a superb little bit of play. It was quite interesting listening to the commentary team talking about Radwan, because they were saying about how much more the game is like expanding rather than just being the quick lad on the field. And I really got to see it in this game a little bit more, actually, because I don't think we've got to see a lot of him from the England international team yet. And he is very much just a speedy player, but actual vision to sort of drink in and out of players and always look for the offload is really nice. Look at Gareth Anscombe there. You know, absolutely fantastic. I mean, Gareth Anscombe, I don't remember the last time I really saw him doing this for Wales. But what a superb little line from him there. Just coming through the back. I kind of want to get a little clip of this, a little going through here. So actually, like, looking at what happened here, turning back in against the grain, the players got bunched up, and even though you had a 3-on-2, you probably could have spread it out wide, and Coaty's done pretty well to get out wide here, to be fair, to try and shut that down. You'd have to go for a bit of a looping pass over the top and hope someone would cover it. But Gareth Anscombe here, reading that Semi Ranjaraja has actually turned his back to try and engage in the tackle or maybe get involved with the ruck, actually sees this going on, and you can see he's completely facing the wrong way, not ready for it. What a beautiful line from Anscombe.
Tamana the try scorer. Oh, there you go.
Look at this, straight through everyone, and got some good pace. Now, his kicking up to this point, not been the best. I mean, you look at the scoreboard here, 24-28, the scoreboard is certainly closing up. But this kicking's not been the best, and you actually saw here, as he was running through, he actually got around one player. You feel like you could dive here, but he did decide to run about 10 feet further out. Very weird why he decided to do that. Just fancied running a bit more with the ball in hand. But he did get this conversion. Considering all the other conversions, I think he's missed most of the kicking duties up to that point, but he did get that one over. Now, a very interesting point here.
Oh, nice quick hands from Patchell.
And Kosi. Again, an exhibition match. So you're going to try and show off. You're trying to show off a little bit of flair. You're trying to show off to coaches and stuff. But this one was such a strange decision coming in from Nkosi on this one. We'll probably go back and have a look at it in a bit of a slow-mo.
They want to give it, but they can't give it.
I know they want to.
There we go. And actually puts the ball down on the line, so it doesn't count. There's a lot of talking points around these sort of jumping tackles. We're seeing it a bit more now in international rugby as well. The way that players are running up to the line but leaping. I don't really believe that your class is like leaping for the line here. It also didn't really need to happen. I feel like this could be maybe looked at as trying to jump over the tackle, because I don't know why you'd ever need to leap 4 feet in the air in order to get around a tackle here. Radwan, I mean, he's literally parallel to his head. I mean, it's a hell of a jump. Fair play to him. But Radwan did very well to not just clobber him in the face, but actually managed to drive him into touch. Did hit the shoulder. It's a bit hard to tell on this video, but he does actually catch his shoulder. I don't really feel like you should be allowed to dive that. I also don't think Nkosi needed to dive. I feel like if he dives directly along the floor and actually slides over the line, you score a try here. But it's a decent finish to actually get the ball down from a little somersault, but did go on the line. So disallowed, and fair enough. And I think if it had been like in play, I still would have maybe looked at this as to whether he actually jumped over the tackler and whether the tackler really had an opportunity to be able to stop this from happening if he jumped without it being like a dangerous tackle. Couple of things to think about there as we lead towards the World Cup and how, you know, tries like that might actually be the decider between winning a World Cup final or not. As a nice little easy walkover try. Yeah, given off to the scrum half here. The replacement scrum half came on. Yeah, Hogard came on. I actually think the starting scrum half was a little bit better in this game. Hogard didn't necessarily show off that much to me in this game, but he did get a try. Very selfless of an outside centre, sorry, to offload that to you.
To haul on, that's really nicely done. Another try, it's inside.
There we are, Bryn Hall getting down. Now, Bryn Hall, I've not seen play for a while. I think he was at the Crusaders the last time I saw Bryn Hall. I'm not sure if he still is, but nice to be seeing some other players getting up there. Oh, what a try that was as well. Absolutely superb. So this is Sam Johnson now coming on. Unfortunately, Karevi got injured a little bit earlier in the game for the Barbarians. Shame for him to not be able to show off a bit more for Eddie Jones. But I thought this was actually really nice. The line-out situation for the Barbarians is not great in this game. Not going to lie. As you can see, he was actually overthrown in this one. I forgot about that. The ball bounced onward, but great vision here from Sam Johnson here to see that the ball's going down. You can see that the player turns back in. It's hard to tell from just the video. It's a little bit blurry to actually pick it up. But the tackle's made. You don't need to engage in this. You could wait for this to go down and maybe try and go for a jackal here. But decided to try and get involved for the interception. A lovely line. Well spotted by this player, to be fair, to see that Sam Johnson was going. But a beautiful line. Semi Randraja is there, but doesn't manage to get a tackle. And Sam Johnson not getting into the Scotland team anytime soon due to how well Hugh Jones and Tui Bellotto are working out. But absolutely still playing well, still picking those decent lines that we like to see from Sam Johnson.
Tap and go. Yeah. Give it to the big.
We haven't really got to see a lot of Hocking so far in this game. I thought he had a really great game. There's not an enormous amount of highlights from him specifically. As we see the World 15 going on another surging charge there.
Geordie Murphy, yeah.
Oh, Patchell just falling short of the line.
Looking to close the gap here, the World 15, and set up a grandstand finish at 20.
I think that was Negri again going for a little pick and drive. How about that for a pass? What a superb pass to get that over about 4 people. No one saw that coming. No one tried to go for the interception. Didn't go his way. This was the end of the game. We did see a couple of these little tap and goes. It didn't really work for them quite a few times throughout this game. Before this actual setup happened, I think they actually had 2 or 3 of these tap and goes, and it didn't get anywhere. They really struggled to make it work. Give it to Tamani Valu and just let him pick it up. Bang. Try. Certainly a player that is going to be very hard to stop. We saw him earlier getting through Adam Hastings as well. So close to the line, an absolute danger man to get there. What a superb try from him to be able to reach it from there. Now this was Alwyn Jones's second attempt towards kicking the post. He did miss the first one from almost the identical position. He kicked it off to the right. You've got to love it in a Barbarians game, seeing a send-off like this as well. Come on!
We got the thunderclap as well.
It's all joined in. Come on, Alwyn. Get it over. Oh no, off to the right again. He pulled the second one back to the right as well. Yep, he can't believe it. That he managed to miss 2 as well. It's one of the beautiful things about rugby when you watch a Barbarians game. We did actually get to see George Cruz taking an immense kick. Was it last year or the year before? I can't remember actually, where he actually back-heeled it over the post. There's nothing like seeing a big forward attempting a nice little conversion there. Right, we'll finish off the highlights video. So the final score was, I think it was 48-43 in the end. So another little talking point here. Not that the win was immensely big for them. Sorry, 48-42. But they lost by 6 points. Now, if Nkosi just dived into the line and scored a try, that makes it 47. Adam Hastings was on fire with kicking, to be fair. It still would have been a difficult one. It's right on the touchline. Not a guaranteed kick. That makes it 49-48. That would have been quite an incredible final scoreline, but we didn't get to see it because of that diving thing. I'm interested to know if they'll maybe make some more rules around that before the World Cup, because I'm a little bit worried we'll be seeing a lot more of that jumping over people for the try line. Just put it down, get it there, and there it is, the Barbarians, the winners of the Killik Cup. An absolutely fantastic game, 14 tries in the game, really nice send-off for Alwyn Jones as well. Not managing to get his kick, but being able to captain the side. Looked like everyone had a good game. Sami Radradra was actually the guy who got man of the match, even though he was on the losing team. But to be fair, he was pretty immense throughout this game. But yeah, a couple of really big names I'm really looking forward to see. Quade Cooper especially, for this Australian team as we get towards the Rugby Championship and looking further towards the World Cup. I think it'll be one to watch. And maybe a couple of these Tongan players, with Israel Folau actually playing quite well in this game, and being able to do this sort of dual citizenship thing. I think he's actually already got a cap with Tonga, if I'm not mistaken. So we may well be seeing him playing more for Tonga alongside of Charles Piutau as well. So there's a couple of big name players to watch that actually played quite well in this game. I'm looking forward to see how they get on. But there we have it, guys. That is going to be the video for today. If you've enjoyed this one, remember to leave it a like, and we may do more videos like this in the future, so make sure to subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all the latest rugby videos. I'll see you all next time, guys. Bye bye.